let's pause this.
Oh God! Oh, so excited to hit the microphone stand. My name's Arber and welcome to this week's episode of the Formica Table podcast, where we'll be discussing episode 9 of Twin Peaks: The Return. This week is a bit unusual as it's the first time we've all been in the same room together. Rob's normally in a different part of the home counties to me, and Mark's normally in Copenhagen, so it's exciting, unprecedented stuff. That said, Rob, tell the folks about yourself.
Hi, my name's Robert Valentine, and I am constantly getting distracted by red high heels.
And Mark.
Hi, I'm Mark, and around this dinner table, the conversation is lively. Or it will be.
Very good. Yeah, very, very appropriate.
Yeah, and we are actually sitting around a dinner table.
Yes, it's no longer notional. Yeah. It's an actual table.
Yeah.
I like this.
Not Formica, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, sadly, yeah. A bit
Budget
let down by
wouldn't
that.
stretch that far.
Yeah. It's a lovely table, though. Don't get us wrong.
Yeah.
It's a good table.
So, because it's all live, you're going to hear all the coughs, splutters, people drinking, that sort of stuff. There's no way around it. But let's get into it. So the first thing that we see in this episode is Mr. C, all bloodied up from last week, wandering down a farmyard road and seeing a red bandana, which I guess is the symbol that Chantal and her husband Hutch are around. And
yeah, I just thought that's the Terminator. I kind of thought this is Carl Doctor. Yeah, that was in my head. And it was only looking back on the episode that I twigged that, the red bandana is there. It's a safe sign.
Yeah.
The deed is done at this place. Mm-hmm. Come on in.
Yeah. Yeah, so Chantal and Hutch fix up Mr. C, get some new clothes, 2 new phones and some guns, and the owners of the place appear to have been killed.
Yeah.
Something that occurred to me was that we're on episode 9, right? Mm-hmm. And how many episodes were there in the first series?
In the first season?
No, was it 8 episodes in the first season plus the pilot, or was it 7 episodes plus the pilot?
Oh, you got me there. I don't know, but it was something like that. So
I'm just thinking, because this is episode 9, and, and if you remember, Cooper got shot at the end of the first series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then he was sort of resurrected. Maybe it was episode 9, or it was around here. Mm-hmm. So I wondered if there was some sort of, this kind of poetry of numbers.
And also he seems to have been shot in the same place.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well thought of. I hadn't crossed my mind, actually. So, yeah. Very good.
Thanks, guys.
Very good.
That's it. I'm spent now.
So Mr. C sends a text message saying, around the dinner table, the conversation is lively.
Hadn't noticed.
Yeah. Which is going to become more relevant a little bit later on. And he also, surprise, surprise, calls Mr. Todd in Las Vegas.
Yeah. I wondered, does that mean now, or we should take that as that Mr. C is the person who's ordering hits on Dougie and is the boss of the Vegas guy the mysterious Vegas guy that we've been talking about as well.
When that plot point landed, I just had this kind of just miasma of disappointment slowly lower on top of me, because if Mr. C is the scary guy behind Mr. Todd, then
it's a bit
we've
boring.
seen that.
Yeah.
I'm bored.
Did you want it to be Philip Jeffries?
I still want it to be Philip Jeffries, but having Mr. Todd as at the centre of some kind, in the villainous call centre doing their bidding, kind of reduces him. So I'm disappointed that that's who he's answering to.
I concur, and also I guess because we always talked about that Philip Jeffries we haven't always talked about it, but you said last week, Jason, that which I thought was a great idea, that maybe Tim Roth was going to step into David Bowie's shoes.
Yeah.
And
So
do that accent.
I mean, he did have a similar accent, but he wasn't Philip Jeffries.
No, that's a shame because I thought that was a great idea.
Yeah. So it's that.
You should have been in the writers' room.
I should have been. Yeah. I wanted to be, but they kept calling the police. So that throws open, if Philip Jeffries makes an appearance, who's going to be playing him?
Yeah, because Tim Roth was a good fit, I think.
Yeah. But I guess we'll find out, or we won't. One of the two.
Do you know what? And as the series goes on, the possibility of "or we won't" is actually becoming less and less surprising, or unlikely as an outcome.
It was a bit of a flattener episode, wasn't it? It was kind of, you got all these questions in the air, and they're they're not kind of being. It's not like I feel like things have gotten more mysterious or things have been kind of developed more, and your curiosity is being piqued. It's more like things are just kind of getting gently flattened or deflated a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, on the drive over here tonight, I was thinking that a couple of episodes ago they found Laura Palmer's missing diary pages, and I thought, that's wow. Okay, this is going to be what it's all about. She's going to be hanging all over this again.
Yeah,
she's been kind of forgotten about this week.
Yeah,
considering
But given the slow unfolding of this series, that means nothing. She could make an appearance in 4 episodes' time.
Yeah. I almost feel that unfolding is the wrong word for it, though. It's more of a
presenting.
Yeah, I don't know. It's more of
in a strange order.
It's like me rolling out of bed. It's just it's
oh, that bad.
Yeah. It's just kind of there's no grace to it or planning. It's just kind of I'm going to get from here to the bathroom somehow. Yeah, and it's not going to be elegant or graceful or thought through. I'm just going to get there.
That's pretty hard.
I'm going to end that metaphor now.
Yeah,
it's probably it's not meant to be that hard.
It's a wonderful image, though.
Thank you.
That's what podcasts or radio is all about. It's about giving images, and now everyone's thinking about you. What are you wearing?
Not much. Yeah, wristwatch maybe.
Wow. So Mr. C asks Duncan Todd, "Did you do it?" To which Mr. Todd replies, "Not yet." And Mr. C says, "Better be done next time I call." So presumably that's the hit on Dougie, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Remind me how Mr. Todd ties in with the lady with the soundtrack who Ike the Spike killed? Or are they 2 separate assassination operations?
I think Mr. Todd, first of all, got the lady to send the 2 assassins to kill Dougie.
Yes.
They failed. And then he sent Ike the Spike to finish everybody off.
No, that's right. That's how it's organised. Yeah, great, thanks.
And then Mr. C wants Hutch to kill Warden Murphy. I guess he's just loves no loose ends. He just wants them all tied off. And then a double header for him in Las Vegas.
Who's Warden Murphy again?
Warden Murphy is the warden of the prison who,
right, yeah.
The whole Mr. Strawberry thing.
The impression the impression I got with Mr. C very early on when he shoots dead the woman whose husband gets
the principal's wife.
He congratulates her on behaving as the way people behave.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he just he's chock full of garbambosia. He loves corrupt people behaving the way corrupt people. Yeah, and they're drawn to him.
Yeah,
and they're behaving satisfactorily.
Yeah,
yeah.
And that seems to be the relationship he has with every new associate he works with. They're performing to type.
I suppose in a way, I mean, if there's any connection between that amazing 60 minutes that we got from the previous episode, well, there is no real connection, I don't think, between that episode and this one, but if there is any, it's sort of in your mind. You do it. I mean, just talking about that now, about the kind of corruption of the, a corrupt soul is drawn to a corrupt soul. There is something kind of atomic. There's something kind of scientific about the way,
the physics of evil, almost.
The physics of evil, right? Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah,
I like that. Yeah.
So that sort of, I suppose that gives characters and their motivations some sort of context. By which I mean the previous episode gives kind of a context for evil, or corruption. Yeah. So I don't know what it's giving us yet, episode 8, but we've only had one episode since then.
Yeah.
I think if one thing's clear, it's that I sort of want the rest of the series to be in 1956. That's sort of how I felt after
it would be very cool.
Episode.
Yeah. Unexpected.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then Hutch says to Chantel, "Hey Chantel, give the boss a wet one." And considering those two are married, it seems a very kind of strange open relationship thingy going on.
They're deep Southers. Funny things go down there.
Yeah, they've
They've
just massacred the owners of the place they're hiding out at. So,
got a lot of adrenaline to shake off.
Yeah. The one thing about that, actually, I did. It's very clear what's happened, but I would have enjoyed a little bit more of a tableau of the dead farmer and his wife, just so that the story of how they were dispatched was just kind of there to see a little bit, even just in terms of But they've been dragged and dumped, so it's very brutal and don't spare a thought for them. But I would have liked maybe a little bit of blood. Arterial flow to kind of maybe show the story of how they were killed.
Although I quite like the fact that it was very matter of fact. You just kind of step over them to get round the corner.
It was all business. Yeah.
And then one of the weirdest things in the whole episode happened, which was Chantel pulls out a bag of potato chips or crisps for us English people and hands them to Coop, and he's like, "Oh, great, crisps." It was just like, that seemed quite random. Yeah,
I hadn't really. Well, I hadn't registered it. I remember it now. Of course, now you say it. Very, very odd.
Yeah, I only noticed it when I was looking through it again for the notes, and I was like, "What?" She had them in her back pocket the entire time.
Yeah.
Who keeps packets of crisps in their back pocket? What happens when you sit down and bend
practical.
over?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Very strange. Very strange. So, Mr. C asks Hutch to destroy the phone, which he blasts with a shotgun, which I guess is one way of doing it.
Memorably pink.
Yeah. Mr. C with a pink phone just feels very, very strange.
Yeah.
And then Mr. C drives off in what we can only assume is his new coupe-mobile. That kind of black Jeep truck thing.
Yeah, it wasn't a Jeep, was it? The first time we saw him, it was in it was in like a Corvette or.
Yeah.
Actually, I put my hand up. I don't know anything about cars.
No, me neither.
It was like a cool 70s
looking,
dusty looking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was nice.
So that was Mr. C, really. We don't really get to see too much more of him, so who knows where he's off to.
He is doing surprisingly well with those holes in him, though.
Yeah, he's definitely. I mean,
it hasn't affected him. He seems quite the same as he's dusted himself off, and it seems quite unaffected. Sort of a bump in the road, perhaps, but not much more than that.
I mean, Chantel looked at the wound and said, "You were quite lucky," but I think it's a little bit more than luck.
Yeah.
I do have another question. The farm. Have we been? Was that the farm, or is the farm a place we have not been to yet?
I think
that's probably the farm. Isn't it?
The farm might
Ray,
be somewhere different because Ray said that he was going to go to the farm.
Or try to. Yeah. Maybe it's somewhere else. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's a health farm.
Yeah. Well,
or something. Anyway,
maybe.
Well, I don't know. But anyway, that wasn't the farm.
I don't think that. It was
a farm,
confusing
if
not
there's
the
more
farm.
than one farm, isn't it?
Mm.
I think in the nature of the flattening nature, the deflating nature of this episode, it was probably the farm. But anyway, that's my vote.
Yeah. So after that, we're back in the FBI plane, and I noticed that the numbers on the tail were reversed, which means to me that looks like stock footage which has been flopped, because when we first saw it, it was going in one direction, and now they want to indicate that they're heading back, so they've just flopped the shot.
So was it mirrored and then normal, or
it was mirrored? So all the letters were completely backwards
on both shots.
No, on the first one it was fine. On the second one, because the shot had been flopped.
the eyes of an eagle.
Or
you're just watching it too many
Learjet
times.
is a doppelganger. Could
Well,
be that. It could be from the Black Lodge.
I did read a few things on Reddit that were saying, what does this mean? Is it a plane from the lodge? And I was just like, no, this is just an editing thing, and they couldn't be bothered to flip the numbers.
But actually,
around.
there was something in one of the earlier episodes that I read. Maybe it was a Reddit thing as well, with the flashing windows on the plane. Yeah, that it was some sort of code.
Well, originally I thought that was just the sunlight reflecting through the windows in a really odd way, but somebody had taken the footage and it showed how some VFX person had actually painted the windows out in a particular sequence. So I am prepared to concede in that instance that maybe they were trying to send a message in some way, or
mysteries on top of mysteries.
But I have no idea. No one's been able to crack that code yet. If it is a code, who knows? So in the FBI plane, we've got Cole gets a call from Colonel Davis while Diane and Albert are sleeping that they need to go to Buckhorn, South Dakota, which Cole initially heard as bad language, which made me laugh.
Conveniently, they're just passing it.
Yeah. I mean, it cuts between the FBI plane and Mr. C, and at one point there's a sound of a plane that goes over quite obviously over the farm, and I was like, is that the FBI plane? Or was that literally, just some atmos that the sound guy had added in there, or maybe a real plane had passed over? But it did make me think, if he's looking out the window and they're in the vicinity and they're still in that South Dakota way. So
maybe a happy accident.
Yeah.
Real plane passed over.
Idea.
They left it in.
Yeah. So they, excuse me, they go and meet Lieutenant Knox. God, I'm gonna have to cut that out.
God's sake, man, pull yourself together.
Or maybe leave it in. Who knows? Oh God. So they go to. Gordon asked Diane if it's okay to go to Buckhorn, as it's related to a Blue Rose case, which seems to pique her interest a little bit.
I've since the last podcast we did, I had a thought. It was when it was after you finished the edit, Jason, and I was listening back before we posted it, and it occurred to me, because we all had a vote, didn't we, about whether the frog moth, as you termed it, was Bob or Laura, and I think Rob, you went sort of in the middle or something. Something in the middle. Something else.
Yeah, something else. Yeah.
But it occurred to me, I wondered if this girl was sort of neither. She wasn't directly related to the Palmers or anything like that. But what if maybe she was the original Blue Rose case? Maybe her name's Rose, and that sort of struck me as something kind of beautiful.
And it would have connotations to the Black Dahlia, for example, wouldn't it? So it's got that vibe.
Yes,
similar sort of time period.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, Diane checks her phone, and it says "blocked" in big letters.
It's sort of ridiculous.
I know.
It's a bit like the one with the apps and the tracking device.
Yeah. It was the same kind of font, same kind of design.
Yeah.
It didn't look like it was in the phone. It looked like it was on the phone, and she could have teased up the corner and just peeled it off.
Maybe the art department has just sort of printed something off.
That's how
we can't afford the VFX. Let's just tape it on. But yeah, it's blocked, and it seems like she's frustrated, like she's like expecting a call, or anxious about a call or a message or something like that, which again will come into play a little bit later on. And then Cole finds out that Mr. C has escaped. Coop has flew the coop.
Yeah, fun line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost like Mr. C breaking out of prison was just solely so they could deliver that line.
Yeah.
It was too perfect. And then we head to Las Vegas, and we see that Dougie Coop and Janie E are in the waiting area at the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, where Bushnell Mullins is talking to the 3 Fusco detectives. And I thought in this particular scene we actually learned quite a lot about Dougie and his background.
I'm just kind of... Oh, Dougie Jones. I'm wondering why that, that Bushnell, that's his name, isn't it? But the boss.
Yeah, Bushnell Mullins.
And Jamie, the wife.
Janie E.
Naomi Watts' character. Janie E.
Janie E, yeah.
Janie E. What is wrong with those people? I mean, they sort of they protect him. They support him and protect him, and he's clearly
Well, this is what we learn in the
wired
episode. That
I mean, okay, she's his wife, but I mean, they sort of form this sort of protective ring around him, and especially when it comes to the police, it's like, no, Dougie's all right,
Yeah, but they also say that he was in a car crash before he went to the insurance company, and that car crash still continues to have an effect on him.
No kidding.
So I think that kind of like partially explains why, although they know that Dougie's a bit eccentric, this is perhaps not completely out of character for him to go into these kind of weird mental states.
Yeah, I think we needed that information
a little bit earlier
to begin with, because all the way I'm thinking, if they really cared about Dougie, they'd take him to hospital.
Yeah,
but if they knew he had a condition that this is how he is, then I could understand his boss and his wife tolerating it and being there for him, especially if it's it's a thing that happens to him on occasion.
Like it's a spell.
Dougie's
having one of his spells.
Yeah, exactly. And this one's going on longer than usual. Then I could buy the whole thing. But
I think it's kind of out of tone, and there's Twin Peaks has its kind of very surreal moments, but they're very much of themselves. I mean, they're sort of signposted in either with the audio or Badalamenti, or visually with the Chevron floor or whatever. But the realism often is quite real in a way. Emotionally, the performance tends to have kind of like a weight to them and a sort of substance to them. Not so here with the Dougie Jones stuff, and I think it sits so oddly, that stuff, particularly what's kind of the drama bits of Dougie Jones stuff. They fit very weirdly with everything else in these episodes, even the new episodes. So there's a kind of suspension of disbelief, which is sort of getting broken somehow.
I mean, they operate by a different set of rules. A subtly different set of rules.
That's right.
And that just means that
it jars.
Because it's like, well, which do I try to key into? And I'd rather key into the wider weirdness of Twin Peaks rather than have to accept this new, different reality.
Sort of slightly more sitcom-y,
There was a weird thing with Bushnell as well, where at one point he makes this weird kind of fist thing.
He's a boxer.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure whether that was related back to the fact that he is a boxer, but it made me think of Lil as well in Fire Walk with Me, where she does the hand clenching thing, which is to indicate that local authorities were likely to be belligerent and aggressive. Wow. So I didn't know whether that was a callback or the boxing thing or nothing, neither of those. I don't know. But so after Bushnell leaves and tells Dougie he can have the rest of the day off, the detectives discuss that they can find no record of Dougie before 1997, no birth certificate, social security number, no passport, no school, no tax, no employment records, and their immediate thought is witness protection program, which, I guess is a logical thing to assume, rather this guy had been manufactured for a purpose.
Yeah. I mean, none of that is surprising in a way.
Yeah.
for us. You know,
Yeah.
it's like you were saying, Rob, before. You know, we're sort of waiting for them to catch up.
Yeah, I mean, also the year Y97, that kind of, it's
I guess that's when he first appeared on the
Yeah.
radar.
But
Yeah.
then I'm thinking, well, what's the story? What's
The 5-year story.
yeah? What's what was Mr. C's schedule in those opening
Yeah.
5 years? And did he do the whole Dougie the decoy thing then?
Yeah, maybe.
Or what?
But it indicates to me as well that Dougie, it was literally manufactured rather than finding somebody who had a life previously and then
he's
and he adopted Dougie Jones for his own purposes. He was somehow created out of the ether.
Oh, I've just had a thought. Just
Oh, go
then,
on.
you just reminded me when the actual Dougie goes to the Black Lodge and disappears. He ends up just being a little
Pearl.
of
Yeah.
Gold.
metallic of gold.
Yeah.
And in episode 8, out of the nuclear bomb comes a big ball
Ooh.
of gold.
Mm-hmm.
So they are beings of that substance. So yeah, I mean Dougie is definitely a manufactured
Yeah.
tool.
Yeah.
But so only in that moment, just then, that's the imagery at play, isn't it? That's how that's the substance they're made from. Yeah. But the thing that occurred to me was, okay, fine, they've got Coop's prints now off the mug.
Yes.
They trick him into giving him his coffee mug. So think, okay, well, either the prints or the fact he was on the news. One of those things.
Yeah, he's going to alert the FBI.
Yeah, but it's like, well, we've already had him on the news thing. I thought that was going to do that job.
Good enough. Yeah.
Yeah, and now they've got the prints thing. I thought, well, hopefully that will do the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They thought, well, they had Major Briggs's prints for years, and I'm thinking, yeah. Like you said, Mark, anyone in the FBI should not get tips off this show, really.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's just all these things. I'm just
Let's hope not.
we're just
Yeah.
waiting for them to identify the real Dale Cooper.
Yeah.
So will he please stand up now?
Yeah. And then we have Laughing Cop laughing at conversation about tail lights.
This was a weird scene. I think, particularly for the way that it was shot. It was almost like they got the intern operator in just for that scene. There's some very strange things happening with the camera.
There was
very
some very
distracting.
weird pans.
Yeah,
almost
panning left and right over the faces, awkwardly framed. And
Yeah, I think perhaps this goes back to something you mentioned before, Mark, about the speed of which
the
this
speed
was
it's being
done.
made. Yeah.
And so rather than get coverage, it's like,
Yeah.
well, let's just have one shot and then let's just pan where necessary, and we've just got the one set up. And we can just do it.
but
and then we're out.
weirdly, they did cover it a lot, but just from the same angle, sort of looking
Yeah.
flat against the wall with them
Yeah.
standing there. And they did have like a 3 shot and a panning 2 shot, and I think there was even like a panning single. But it was really weirdly put together. It was awkwardly made, that scene in particular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then it transpires that Ike the Spike has been found. They got, they identified him from the bit of palm flesh that he left behind. So
There was a gag in there somewhere. wasn't there?
yeah, although I can't think of
we
it.
have your palm print. We have your palm. We have your whole palm, or something like
Yeah.
that.
It wasn't very funny.
Yeah.
So they decide to let Dougie go, and meanwhile Dougie is staring at the US flag whilst America the Beautiful
This I
plays
liked.
underneath.
This I liked. It was
Yeah.
almost like a sort of microcosm of like Cooper's life. It was
Yeah.
kind of allegiance to the flag, FBI, meeting Audrey Horn, perhaps
Yeah.
those red shoes, and then the birth from the plug, the rebirth from the plug socket kind of thing.
Yeah.
That was really lovely. And
Yeah.
and Carl McLaughlin, bless him, he played it. It was perhaps not a particularly difficult scene, but he holds that kind of poise. There's something, I don't know what he's doing, but there's something that he's doing that leads you to believe that Cooper is just simmering away right
Yes.
underneath
Yeah.
that skin,
And that
Yeah.
wonderful dolly shot where he's just his
Yeah.
stillness, but a
Yeah.
weird yearning for the Stars and Stripes and
Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
Was it America
Yeah.
the Brave?
It's America the Beautiful.
America the Beautiful. Sorry, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was thinking, he's in there. He's in
Yeah.
there. We know
Yeah.
he's in
Yeah.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Please God,
Yeah,
come.
yeah.
And I did think this was the moment he was going to burst through and
Well, we always think that. There's
Yeah.
always, he's such a prick to, isn't he? Old Lynchy.
constantly
Constantly teasing. Yeah, at least every time there's a Dougie centric episode, there's a moment that he throws in where we think it's going to be the coffee, or maybe it's going to be the weeing or something.
So then we cut to Ike the Spike, who's on the phone saying that he has a message for JT. No cigar, taking medical leave. So I didn't know who JT was. I was trying to look at the cast list.
J.
Yeah.
Let's think about the J's.
Let's set up a milk bottle and some stones, and basically we'll read out some names, and Jason, you can throw the stones, and whenever you hit the milk bottle,
I'll be by the milk bottle, but not too near.
And then Spike is arrested, and he's got a big thing on his hand, understandably. And I thought there'd be either more bloodshed or more drama when he was arrested, but it was a bit of an anticlimax.
Yeah. So, because the other thing is, we all got to watch it together for the first time ever. Yeah. And in that scene, Mark, you were really, I could tell you were just waiting for the big, like the Spike denouement there, you know.
Yeah, I
could tell you were kind of...
I was not aware. I was sort of like,
either Ike was going to get it badly, or the cops were really going to regret cornering him.
I was a bit, I think I was a bit like you in the earlier scene. I wanted something really nasty to happen to him, something kind of grotesque and gory, because I was expecting there might be a moment like in Wild at Heart, which is one of Lynch's best films, with the shootout in the bank and the tights over the head and the hand gets shot off and the dog runs off with the hand at the end, great stuff. And I thought there might be something as wacky as that. I was kind of expecting it to go that way, but it didn't.
Yeah, well, after that we go to Twin Peaks, and then we have an Andy and Lucy scene where they're arguing over a red chair or a beige chair. What did you think of that, Mark?
Well, actually, when I must say, by the end of it, I came around to sort of liking it. But about halfway through it, I thought, it's another one of these filler. Yeah. Every episode there's a scene where I kind of deeply suspect of being kind of filler. But I kind of liked this in a way. It wasn't like the sweeping the cigarette butts on the floor in the Roadhouse. It was. I think we probably learned more about Lucy and Andy's kind of relationship dynamic than we ever have before.
It's kind of sick, actually.
It is kind of sick, yeah.
Well, there was a bit of reverse...
And I like that.
Well, there was a bit of reverse psychology going on, because she was saying that she wanted I forget which one it was, the red or the beige one.
She wanted the beige and he wanted the red.
But she ends up buying the red one, or ordering the red one. And
but only after he said that she can have the beige one.
Yeah,
I mean, I kind of get that.
Yeah.
I'm with her. I'm with Lucy on that.
Yeah. I don't think.
Have you been there?
I've had my finger on the.
We've all been there,
hovering over the mouse button, looking at a beige chair.
I don't think Andy's very good in this season.
Yeah, I don't know what acting. I liked him in the original series. I thought it was great, but in this one, it feels like he's not done any acting in the last 25 years, and all of a sudden he's kind of dropped into this major TV show, and he's doing his best, but it's not quite.
I don't really have a massive problem with him. Not that I don't see the problems that you do. But I don't feel like he's massively worse than he was.
I don't. Maybe it's that originally Andy was always there to subvert expectations about police in fiction. He would take the crime scene photos and then he'd start crying.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was that was so nice, isn't it? It's so funny. There's something sort of slightly glowing about the original series whenever we talk about it, and then just bringing that up. I mean, that was something very fresh about that. I can't remember seeing that. Also, not that, but also because it wasn't a movie; it was a TV series. It was a weekly TV drama, and it opens by having this body found, and when have you seen that before, where a police officer just starts crying, and it's completely human, and it's totally understandable.
And it's not nostalgia. It works.
It works.
The principles underlying it work. They're just not necessarily being applied. In this scene. I mean, I the other week I loved it because Andy was actually doing some police stuff, and actually, although it was
not very well,
not very well, but he wasn't. Despite the fact he was doing the wrong thing, he wasn't taking shit. He was, look, I will meet you there.
Yeah.
So he was doing some policing. This stuff.
I mean, I don't think it was a great scene for either of them, really. I feel I don't want to come down too hard on Andy. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes.
That sounds wrong, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He's
on notice.
Yeah.
And then we get a weird little scene in the Horn household where Johnny Horn has escaped and starts running around like crazy through the house.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
With Sylvia Horn going, "Who let him out?" And then he runs headfirst into a picture of the Twin Peaks waterfall. And I don't know whether he's just knocked out or killed or what. But it's
saying something when the one scene in the TV show that you're watching that is least significant is a scene where a guy runs around screaming and rams his head into a wall. And it's kind of forgettable.
So there's our introduction to Johnny Horn.
For all we know, that could be it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is, could well be.
That'll
kind of disturbing in a way. I think the way that it's shot as well, that it's almost like we're somebody standing in that house watching this character running in and out of doors. It sort of implies that you're a person in the house.
Yeah.
And you would see it in that way if you were. It wasn't a drama camera that was with a character. It was static. There's something kind of disturbing about it.
Yeah.
It wasn't comedy. It was definitely tragic. And something about him being 25 years older as well. I must sound like I've got a problem with aging, but I haven't. It's an inherent thing. If when you go and revisit something 25 years later, you have to follow the implications of that.
Yeah.
It's awfully sad that's his whole life. The way.
And if that's the end of his life, crikey.
I know.
Tragic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is that scene setting him up, or is that scene
just getting rid of him?
Yeah, or is that scene is the purpose of that Ben losing his son,
or maybe to bring back Audrey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Johnny's funeral.
Yeah.
So after that, we get a pretty cool scene, I think, with Bobby Hawke and Sheriff Truman visiting Betty Briggs. And she's been expecting this visit, weirdly, for the last 25 years. It seemed like the Major Briggs had set up this whole thing and knew that these guys were coming, and he knew that Bobby would turn out okay. And
I like referencing back to that. That's probably one of my favourite scenes of the whole the original series. That sort of father and son moment that they have in the diner, and Major Briggs has a dream that that Bobby's going to turn out and he's going to be fine, and Bobby's really moved by it. It was a surprising scene, especially for Bobby, who's completely off the rails, And I
do like Bobby in this series, though. I think he's one of my favourites.
I love the choice that they've made to make him, a kind of stand-up citizen of the sort of Twin Peaks community. It's lovely because it's surprising and yet makes absolute sense.
Yeah, it's a wonderfully imaginative use of Bobby.
Yeah. So nice to see more of him this episode.
So Betty goes to the chair, and this is the chair of the title of the episode, and pulls out a weird metal tube.
I thought it was weird. I thought it was there was something a bit about the whole scene that was a bit flat. I don't know. And
really?
Also the house. I don't know. Did you check this at all about?
I didn't check whether it was the same house.
Because I don't think it was. That just sort of threw me about. That's just me being a pedantic.
But she could have moved in the last, taken the chair with her wherever she went.
For sure, easily explained away.
So we'll revisit the whole metal thing shortly, but then we go to the Buckhorn mortuary, and Diane opts to stay in the waiting room, pulls out a cigarette.
Yeah, that's great.
And Mackley says,
"Ma'am, you can't smoke in here."
Yeah, and she says, "It's a fucking morgue."
Fantastic. Best line of the app.
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I think she wants to get rid of everyone so that she can check her phone.
Yeah, that was disturbing. Oh, it makes it. I'm not. Yeah. No, because there's the way she played it in episode 7 when she was sort of face to face with Cooper while he was still incarcerated. There was something so amazing and touching and sincere about that performance. I'd feel slightly cheated if she's sort of in on it all. You know?
Yeah, no, at the moment I'm choosing to go with the episode 8. 7 truth, and she's got her own game going on. It's not an FBI thing, but it's nevertheless to do with justice,
getting revenge, maybe
justice or what's right or something.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope you're right.
Or that perhaps she doesn't necessarily know that it's Mr. C that's sending her the messages.
But she has that sort of weirdly sort of tantalised and sort of.
I mean, maybe she thinks they're coming from Jeffries. Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe we just need not too much information, but enough information just to help us care. Or rather, we do care, but to help facilitate that sense of caring. We just need to know a little bit more. You know, is it the case that because he knows all this FBI stuff from years back, is it not necessarily these messages she's getting doesn't necessarily mean it's from him, but it's like some old system or grapevine,
some old code word or something like that.
Yeah, that has some significance that we don't know about. Unfortunately, we know so little.
Yeah,
we're kind of being left with our most obvious guesses, and they're not. And the answers to those are disappointing.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
maybe
the show has kind of pulled the rug from under us a couple of times, so this could be one of those moments where what we think is the answer. It could be a complete 180 from that.
I mean, I feel very fickle because after episode 8, I was like, I'm just going to surrender myself to this. It's got its own. It's a train on some sturdy tracks that go who knows where, but I'm up for the ride. And I must say, I felt this episode sort of hit a wall a bit again. In that but you put it best. And that, Rob, you put it best, and that was...
Yeah, no, it's just like the feeling I got from this episode was, it's like when someone makes you a sandwich, and you bite into it, and you just realise that this is mostly just bread.
Yeah.
And this episode, for me, was mostly just bread.
But the starving children in Africa would still like that sandwich.
But they'd get really pissed off watching me eat it, though, wouldn't they? That's the thing.
So anyway, Mackley fills in the FBI, everything that he knows about Hastings. We get a great line from Albert. What happens in season 2, which I thought was a great nod to the audience there. Yeah, that was a great line.
Yeah.
But yeah, perfect.
Maybe a little too knowing.
Maybe. I mean, even Lynch in the background, if you look at him, he's got like a bit of a smirk, like, yeah, I know this is aimed at the audience. This is a definite wink.
Mark Frost line, though?
Possibly. It feels more like a Frost line than a Lynch line. But it turns out that Hastings and Ruth, the woman who only has a head at the moment, were publishing a blog about another dimension.
That's interesting. That's probably the most interesting development here
and
this week.
Yeah. And we found out later when Tammy is interviewing him that the blog is called, what's it called? Yeah, The Search for the Zone. And that is an actual website you can go to.
Really?
thesearchforthezone.com.
Well, I haven't looked for it, but I had a feeling it would be. Yeah.
And it's full of like little Easter eggs and stuff like that. Like if you search, you can find some video footage, and it's footage of the convenience store, and also hidden in there are the coordinates. Everyone's after these coordinates.
Don't spoil it for them. Just send them to go and have a look and discover it all themselves.
But all I'll say is that people have already found the coordinates and have gone searching.
Oh, really?
to see what's there.
I will say it's great. It's really sort of a 1995 type website with all appropriate icons and things.
Yeah, exactly. It's got a proper retro feel. I love it.
Yeah. You just need the sort of dial-up tone work. woo, and then for the complete experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I quite liked about this episode as well was Constance, the coroner. She kind of like gave a bit of a comeback to Albert, and I liked Albert's. Oh, hey, lady.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought that was like a nice little touch.
Yeah.
And then Gordon, Cole, and Albert go, let's think out loud, which was completely in keeping with Albert Cole, but also a good expositional device as well to show exactly what they were thinking, which basically boiled down to, Major Briggs should be 72 years old. This is the body of somebody in his late 40s. Cooper was around at that sort of time. This is all related. That's it. Let's go back in the room. So yeah, thanks for that. That's a bit of an exposition there.
Welcome recap, that was.
Yeah.
It was nice to see Matthew Lillard, aka Shaggy, in the Scooby-Doo movies.
Yeah.
Again, good that they sort of brought him back into it. I did feel like I felt like the poor man sort of was left by about halfway through. He was left with nowhere to go with that performance, and it was a bit painful to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bizarrely, on Matthew Lillard's Twitter feed, he mentions doing this scene.
Yeah.
And he did it twice.
God.
And he said it was the hardest thing he's ever had to do.
I think he needs some shape to it. I think he sort of went from 0 to 90 in the very beginning and stayed there. I think maybe they could have placed it a bit.
I thought the writing left the actor having to make it work.
Yeah,
it should have been obviously because he's in prison for murdering the woman he loves. And he knows something about this place called the Zone. Those are two different things, and one of them is the practical priority of why he's there.
Yeah,
and I'm innocent. Will you help me?
Yeah.
And so initially, I think if information about the Zone was something, if they'll think I'm crazy, I best not say anything about that.
Yeah.
But then sensing that, hang on, you believe me. Is this connected?
This might get me out.
Suddenly, I've got reason to tell you. They need to have a journey of in terms of I have a reason to deliver this stuff.
Yeah, because Tammy went in with not did you kill your wife or kill Ruth, I should say. She went in with did you write this blog? So
and his mind should have been, if I say yes, am I in more trouble?
Yeah. Yeah,
I better.
Yeah, why not have him ask that question?
Yeah,
It's
just it's one of the things where fortunately he's a bloody good actor, and and they got through it.
But he was struggling, and you felt it.
Yeah.
I must say as well, Krista Bell is, she's kind of. She's not cutting it for me.
Yeah, she was clearly outclassed in that scene.
Yeah,
definitely.
She's also, her whole sort of approach to this role, and I know that she's a singer and not necessarily an actor. Not that that's mutually exclusive, but look at David Bowie, for example.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I'm not. We're not going to talk about. No, no, we're not. But I feel like her performance is made up of kind of sucked in cheeks and sort of slinky power walking, and that's pretty much all there is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
If she was giving a really great performance, what would the point of her character be anyway?
She's very much she's a device. She's a sort. I don't know what her function is really beyond her being the author of the dossier.
Yeah. Technically, it's Briggs that's the author of the dossier, and she's making notes on that dossier.
Yeah.
But I think from doing a bit of background reading that she's supposed to be like Cooper, like a straight arrow.
She's a female Cooper. We talked about that before, didn't we?
Yeah. But she doesn't.
She doesn't have the charisma for it to carry things in the same way that Cooper does.
And I get no sense that the character has got any relationship to the events, despite the fact they are the custodian of the archives.
Yeah,
she's a very self-conscious performer. I think I feel that she's aware that she's being.
I mean, if
looked
we think back to Chris Isaac, who was also supposed to be
so good, so good.
a kind of Cooper kind of character,
yeah,
and he was different to Cooper, but he still had that magnetism.
Absolutely,
and
he was also a singer,
also a singer,
slash actor,
yeah.
Has he acted in? Yeah, he has acted in other things.
I've seen him in a couple of other things.
Yeah, there was a TV show I think he did that was kind of part sort of Saturday matinee sort of music show, but also with like I don't think I've seen it, but I know about it. I love Chris Isaac.
I would love to have seen him return for this.
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it?
I
also thought when they announced that it was going to be, the best research that you could possibly do for this new series would be to sort of swap up on Firewalk with Me. I thought, I wonder if Chris Isaac's going to come. Chris Isaac and Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking initially.
Again.
Yeah. So a little disappointing, but there you go. So we've skipped ahead of ourselves a little bit, and we've skipped over Jerry Horn in the woods.
Yeah.
I'm not your fault.
Yeah.
That I loved that. And I'd quite happily have that as a GIF and just make myself chuckle with it now and again. But as a scene, it was great the first time he was in the woods.
Yeah.
I have nothing. I have no problem with the first time he was in the woods.
Is it the seventh time that's bothering you?
Yeah, it's only the second time, but it's like.
Is it no? Because the first time we've had him. I know he was listening to
Dr. Jacoby's
podcast
on his or
video
thing on his iPad in the woods.
Is that the only? And then there's
he was
I think I'm high.
That was great, and kind of leave the joke there.
Yeah,
unless this is kind of like moving towards something, and the fact that he's in the woods, and is he going to make his?
Well, I still think maybe he's going to stumble across the sort of 12 striplings and the puddle of engine oil. Maybe
he had better.
Yeah, he better have. Yeah. He better not just wander back into the Great Northern.
If he just comes back home again,
yeah.
I've been on an amusing interlude. Yeah. Then I'll just
Also, it made me think about, as we talked about before, but that scene sort of makes me think about the chronology of the series. Like, how long has he been out there? And what does each episode represent? Because I think somebody figured out that in the original series, roughly one episode was roughly 24 hours. This series, I have no idea. No idea.
I mean, Jerry still looked fairly clean and not hungry. Waste, but like he hadn't been out there.
And you would have thought he would have had the munchies.
Yeah. But it just looks like they filmed it in one afternoon, and now they're just dumping it in an episode, whatever.
Yeah.
That's how it feels.
That to be honest, a lot of these scenes feel a little bit like that.
Yeah. Also, like the Roadhouse, the scene at the end of the episode, which is jumping ahead a little bit, but didn't you say that they were all wearing that band?
Yeah,
the same,
Au revoir
same
Simone wearing the same clothes
that they were like 4 episodes ago or 5 episodes ago.
So in my head canon, that is just their stage clothes.
I think that's it. I think again, it's indicative of how quickly the thing was shot, or how economically it had been shot. It's like, okay, we need all these scenes. We're going to shoot them all in location, and so you're probably shooting. You're probably being in location and shooting stuff for episode 1, 3, 7, 8, 9, 11. And you're just going through it all like that. Which is relatively normal, I would say.
But that's absolutely fine. It's just
take the time to do the costume change. And
But in this episode, Jerry being in the woods didn't feel like it contributed to the episode.
No,
or the scene before it, or the scene after.
No, well, I suppose the problem with the Jerry stuff is different slightly in that it just in the kind of linear nature of it. It's like, why is he still out there? What is he doing? How long has he been out there?
Yeah.
And also, whatever he's on is
long lasting.
Lasting a hell of a long time.
Yeah.
It's like Duracell, but with weed.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not high. Maybe it's an aneurysm or something.
Or maybe it's just being in proximity to the entrance to the lodge.
Fine. Give me that.
Yeah, that would be awesome. It's probably none of those things. So we return back to the sheriff's office, and Chad is turfed out of the conference room.
I loved that.
Yeah.
I love that as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why I liked it is quite an odd thing, but it's just the way he sort of stooped over carrying that cutlery or pottery, you know.
His TV dinners, his 2 TV
Yeah,
dinners.
because he's carrying loads of things, probably more things than he should be carrying.
Yeah.
You know, and who hasn't done that? You know,
Yeah.
and this weird walk that you do when you're carrying too many things.
And, yeah.
And I really love that. Lynch has a knack of doing that kind of thing, where it's kind of like people, because it's out of context, because it's in a TV show, and you never see that in TV shows. It's extremely strange.
Yeah.
But it's not strange, really, when you put it in context of the reality of it. We do that sort of stuff all the time. But what Lynch does is sort of puts a spotlight on that kind of thing, and I love that. And I think a lot of Lynch's kind of, let's say, realism is exactly that. It's sort of taking stuff that's very real, but putting a spotlight on it that nobody else does, you know. And that was one of those moments, you know.
Yeah.
And that was a really lovely humanising moment for him as well, considering he's just pretty much a black cat. Let's just give him that.
Well, I
loss
liked
of dignity.
The fact that he was actually a little bit kind of passive aggressive. I thought about the way he was like, no, it's fine. I'll just pile all this stuff up. You know, you guys have donuts in here all the time. It's fine. I'll just, you know, I can't open the door. Can you open the door for me?
Yeah, you're right. It was very passive aggressive.
So I thought that whole scene worked. It was very Lynchian. It suited the characters, and it was just really funny, I thought. But it turns out that no one can figure out how to get into this thing except Bobby, who's laughing because he knows.
The metal thing that was in the chair.
Yeah, the metal thing.
You've not introduced that very well.
It was a metal thing that was found in the chair. A metal tube.
Thanks.
No seams, no buttons. And
they're standing outside the sheriff's office. It's a new scene, isn't it?
Yeah, and like all great Chinese puzzle boxes, you just got to lob it at the floor a couple of times.
Yeah,
I don't know, but is it a thing, that thing?
I was going to ask you,
because I sort of have some weird residual, maybe 1980s kind of memory of something, some toy like that.
Yeah.
Did you as well?
Yeah, I had. I don't know whether it's the same thing.
Yeah,
but it. In my mind, in the very, very back of my mind, there was something which is similar.
Yeah. Maybe some nutter at like Cub Scouts had one, or I don't know, but there was something familiar about it.
It's murkier than that for me. My only memory is that as an object, it didn't look unfamiliar.
Yeah,
I can't. It's the kind of thing my dad would know what it was if it's a thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, throw it at the ground, and it makes a tone, and then when the tone stops, throw it at the ground again, and it opens. And inside are 2 bits of paper from Major Briggs. The first one has 2 peaks on it. There's a circle, like symbols for Saturn and Jupiter, I think they are.
Yeah.
Crescent. And then also the little owl symbol that was on Coop's Ace of Spades
card. Is it the
card.
little owl
It is
symbol?
exactly the symbol.
Okay, yeah.
And then we get a time, 2:53, which is the number that the giant said.
Yeah.
And then 2 dates.
In the first episode, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And 2 dates, the first of which is 48 hours away. And then the day after. So things are really starting to motor there.
Yeah.
And instructions to go to, what's it called? Jack Rabbit's Palace.
Palace, yeah. Which Bobby knows where it is.
Exactly. He's the only person who knows what it is because he named it.
Yeah.
And weird instructions to take a little bit of soil and put some soil in your pocket from that.
Yeah.
And a funny little thought which struck me was, remember when Hawk was asking, is it about the bunny? No, it's not about the bunny. And this is Jack Rabbit's Palace.
Yeah, the chocolate bunny, right?
Yeah, the chocolate bunny, yeah. So, tenuous link perhaps, but...
No. I'll
how my mind works.
When 2 events simultaneously occur pertaining to the same object of inquiry, we must always pay strict attention.
Yes, indeed.
Can't believe I remember that.
And then we also get on the other piece of paper, which is the same as the one from the TV series 25 years ago.
Oh, I just want to say something about that scene when they're standing outside with the... We've never seen the reverse of looking at the sheriff's department. As in, like, I don't think it just struck me
Well,
as
and
very
seeing
odd.
the sort of mill in the background.
Yeah, like if you were like walking out of the sheriff's department and then just we never had a scene like that before. Just looking the other way.
No,
it's kind of weird.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all.
So there's the other piece of paper, which has, unlike the original TV series, which had 3 Coopers, in this one, the third Cooper was cut off. So for all intents and purposes, we've now got 2 Coopers, which is what Hawk says. He says 2 Coopers.
Yeah. But as you said, the third one is cut off.
Yeah.
Which kind of works.
Yeah, kind of a little bit, because we've got Dougie and shoes being left behind and that sort of stuff. So,
and funny enough, now post episode 8, all those transmissions picked up from space by the government make very specific sense now.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. So that's a hangover from episode 8. That's given
although
us
in the TV series they thought they came from space, but then they say actually originated from Earth. So very weird. Very weird.
No, you've just thrown a bucket of water on that fire, haven't you?
So and then in the strict order of things, we go back to the Hastings interview, which I want to return back to because he does say quite a lot of interesting things relating to Major Briggs. He says that Ruth was good at finding documents, and that's how they found the entrance to the zone, by going to a certain place at a certain time. And inside there, they found Major Briggs, who was hiding, or as he described it, hibernating, which is a little bit strange. And Major Briggs thought that people were going to find him, and he wanted to go to a different place, which is why he sent them out to get the coordinates. But it's a little hazy in the narrative, the way that Hastings is telling it, because
I think that's the other thing that was such a kind of a stress on the performance in a way. It's like a lot of information in that to be delivered in this sort of like hysterical, emotional way.
It was like nothing but exposition all the way through.
Another reason to have layers of information doled out for very specific reasons, either offered or demanded. Gives the actor a break. Because
he just went on one, and it gets a little hazy, because he says that Major Briggs floated up and then his head vanished.
Which I remembered from the episode. Was it the second episode or the first episode? The same thing happens to the character who later returns to the morgue. Or as a woodsman,
one of the woodsmen,
right?
whose head kind of like floats away.
Which we thought, that's just we're never going to sort of deliver on that. It's just what it is, But it's paid some sort of service to it.
So it kind of gets referenced.
Yeah,
and then it's not clear, because Hastings says the room was full of people, and I don't know whether that's like woodsmen or what, but somebody was kind of like holding his throat and asking him what his wife's name was, and then Ruth was dead, and then he woke up back at his house, and the whole thing was beautiful but terrifying, and so that was a lot of exposition to go through while sobbing, and then
God bless him. I mean,
and all he wanted to do was go scuba diving,
or
Scooby-Doo diving,
Oh, Dad.
Dad joke, And Albert says, fruitcake, anyone? So clearly that's a low opinion of Hastings. Then for me, the episode kind of like dips a little bit, because we get Ben Horn and Beverly again trying to find the source of the sound, which links back to what you were saying, Rob, about they filmed a whole bunch of stuff and now they're just chopping it up.
Yeah, but this was a slight return you didn't need. It was like Rick and Ilsa going back to the airstrip for another chat. The original scene was so beautiful,
great,
and all that subtext was fantastic,
Yeah.
and in this
All that-
scene,
it was just pregnant with kind of chemistry and
sexual tension and regret and
yeah.
restraint.
And then again, it was like I said earlier. It was like somebody just stuck a pin in that previous scene, and this scene was just that scene going.
Yeah.
You know.
And a bizarre, weird thing is, to me, has no one told Ben Horn that his son has just been knocked out or killed?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, because this, what happened to Johnny Horn seems like, well, it happened during the daytime. This is nighttime. There's no one picked up the phone just to say, you know, your son is dead, unconscious, or very strange.
Good point. Didn't think about that.
So, which makes me think, you know, perhaps it was like a weird editing choice. You know, like when they shot that, they didn't necessarily know it was going to go in that place in the edit, perhaps.
I think there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
But mostly don't repeat your successes. That was such a great little scene.
Yeah.
Don't and it's the same thing with the sound and the put it somewhere else. Do it somewhere else and do it better.
Nothing's
Do it
progressed.
again,
either.
but better.
It's nothing's progressed.
Yeah.
It doesn't add anything. It doesn't take anything away apart from killing the original scene. But it's just don't put it in.
And it's worse than the original scene as well, because rather than hint at it, it just came
explicit.
out and said
it. It's text and it's no longer subtext.
And awfully that sort of the blocking of like how they sort of they stand closer and closer and then they bump into each other. It's almost like a Disney movie or something, you know, that kind of, and then gaze longingly into each other's eyes. It's the previous one was so much better. Leave it at that.
Yeah.
Did the same job but infinitely better.
Yeah, and then we're off to the Roadhouse, where we've got Hudson Mohawk doing his kind of like scratching, hip-hop-y sort of stuff, whilst we're introduced to Sky Ferreira as Ella with the meth teeth.
Yeah, and the itchy armpit.
The really rank armpit rash.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. With the Eraserhead style scratching, you know, in the close-ups.
Makes me think of that line from the original series where Audrey says, "Do your palms ever itch?" Yeah, but maybe there's a connection.
Yeah, do your armpits ever itch?
Yeah, all the time.
And then her friend Chloe, who also has manky teeth as well.
Does she have manky teeth? I didn't notice that.
Yeah, when she laughs,
that's harsh. You're harsh. Maybe that is her actual teeth.
Yeah, could well be.
Yeah.
I mean, she also curiously she's a Polish actress in real life, and you know how David Lynch has got a thing for Poland, Inland Empire.
Yes, yeah.
Just thought it was a nice little connection. And then they say,
isn't that a back lodge thing though? Dodgy teeth. Not dodgy teeth, but dirty teeth.
You kind of like yellow teeth.
Yeah,
I think is the thing. You get like the white outfit. You know, sometimes you get a close up of like teeth. You're like with Laura.
Oh yeah, that was very extreme, wasn't it? With Laura when she was with Harold Smith, and it was sort of black. Was it black teeth and
it was yellow teeth and black lips. and
black,
white face paint.
Yeah.
So Chloe says, you know, that zebra's out again. I have no idea what that's. And later on, Ella asks Chloe if she's seen the penguin. So I don't know whether there's been like an escape at the Twin Peaks Zoo.
Yeah, that'll be it, Jason. That'll be it.
Zebras and penguins are black and white, and so are the chevrons of the black lower rosette. Reading too much.
Again, it's opposites. It's black and white. It's good versus evil. I missed that. That was me just thinking of zoos, escaped animals.
It could be. Could be an actual zebra and an actual penguin.
But you never know. You never know. So I'm not
There's
quite...
been llamas before.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah.
Wasn't escape, though. It was on a leash.
Yeah.
That was a great scene.
It was a great scene. Just the way it looks at Coop
Cooper,
and then moves on again. For real. But I'm not quite sure what Sky Ferreira and her friend have got to do with anything. Seemed a bit of a kind of like a random non-scene.
A bit.
And again, at the end of an episode, introduce some brand new people who you may not see again for...
Yeah, and now we're halfway through.
Yeah.
And we're still doing a fair bit of introducing. It's calming down.
Yeah. It's not
There's
as
less
frantic
of
as
it,
it was,
but it's still happening, you know. And there are lots of characters that we haven't been back to. You know, there's Shelley's daughter and her loser BF.
Yeah.
And who's the other? There's the other kind of younger characters. Well, yeah, Dick Horn.
Yeah.
I miss him.
Yeah, he was good. He was good.
Wally Brando.
Yeah.
Well,
Although
I don't think Wally's going to come back. He might come back in the last episode and on his bike and save the day. I think.
Punch out.
Yeah.
Mr. C or something.
Yeah. That would be quite something. That would work actually. Yeah.
Who's the guy that was always cool? We've not seen him again.
James.
Yeah. Wow.
Just
imagine
you.
Twin Peaks is announced. You were in the previous series and you're just thinking, yes, payday. Wow, I'm going to be all through this thing. Just in that one scene.
I don't think he's even got a line. Oh, he has got a line, hasn't he?
Yeah. He says something about this is a great place, isn't it? And his friend with the blue hand or blue glove just goes.
Yeah, the Cockney geezer.
Yeah, just goes, yeah. That's it. Yeah, and then after that scene, we're back to Au revoir, Simone, and the credits roll.
I must say that the armpit thing has kind of it's been repeating on me for the last couple of days.
Is it an image that's stuck in your brain?
Yeah, it's like a really spicy meal that you had a couple of days ago that still keeps coming back. For some reason, I mean, Lynch has a sort of wonderful knack for that, but it's one of those sort of sticky images that doesn't go away. Yeah. So we skipped this at the beginning, but what did you think overall? The episode taken as a whole? Well, I mean, I think we've managed to sort of worm it into the thing. But I mean, I totally subscribe to what Rob was saying about it being a bread sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A white bread sandwich.
Oh, it's even worse.
Actually, one of those. It's a white bread sandwich made out of that bread that like weirdly lasts forever. Sort of like the doesn't go bad bread. That you buy in sort of silver foil. Yeah, that tastes more like cake than actual bread.
This episode, there was nothing actively offensive in this episode, and we were given loads of exposition and explanation and backstory of stuff we've already encountered. So it kind of felt like I should be appreciating this and be grateful for this knowledge, but it's information without story happening to us.
There was definitely, and delivered by sort of quite strained performances.
Yeah,
when I mean, it felt like all those everything that's come bar episode 8, everything that's come before this, which is sort of fed into this sort of plot wise and stuff, has been a balloon kind of. Blow, getting more inflated, and then this episode just sort of went,
and a lot of the information we did get in this episode, if we'd had it spread over the last 8, it would have helped. Would have helped me give a shit about these people.
When's Audrey coming back? God damn it!
I know.
We are now halfway through the whole thing. Can events we haven't seen yet really retcon the quality of what we've seen so far? No. I don't think drama. I don't think it works that way. I don't think art works that way.
But episode 8 did something quite special in that it justified the existence of a Twin Peaks return.
Because
whatever happens following this and whatever gripes we had about what came before it, that was such a fantastic 60 minutes of cinema, really, cinema on a television that I'm going to be grateful forever for that.
Oh no, absolutely.
And it stayed with me still, and now we're weeks later, and it still kind of resonates.
Well, that's the thing. I watched this episode, then I really did mean to rewatch this episode, but I didn't. I rewatched episode 8 again.
Same here. Did you?
Yeah. I thought, do you know what?
Oh, finger slipped. I was aiming for episode 9. Whoops.
Yeah. I thought this was a solid, if unremarkable, episode, which had more to do with pushing a few plot elements. And
it's a shame that they were being pushed in such an unimaginative way. That's all.
But I think, like Rob said, I think if this had just been evened out a little bit more over the previous episodes, it would have felt less, because it felt like we had the first third of the series so far, just introducing new peoples, introducing new scenarios, and not really advancing the plot. And then literally as soon as they went into the second third, they're like, oh, we would better start thinking about the plot here. And we've just had like plot overload with a weird art movie in the middle of all of that. And it feels like, you know, you're off kilter the whole time because you don't really know what you're going to get, which is part of the beauty, but also kind of part of the frustration as well.
Funny, I was thinking not just because I love it, but if you made we had this discussion before we saw episode 8, but if you made the body of episode 8 episode 1,
Yeah.
you know, and you start with
That's an interesting question.
the origin myth of all of Twin Peaks.
Mm-hmm.
Then you cut to the discovery of Laura's letters. Then you're off.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I don't know. I think episode 8 worked so well, partly because it came in this sort of desert of creativity in a way. Not a desert is too harsh, but I think we were all waiting for Lynch to sort of not up his game, but up, you know, to raise the bar again 25 years later. I mean, that's what we were all secretly was hoping was gonna. We were all gunning for him, and that was looking increasingly unlikely to happen. And then along came episode 8, and it was like, whoa, you know.
Yeah.
I think if we'd been given that straight away, our expectations for the rest of the series would have been ridiculously high, and perhaps unfairly so. So,
but I do feel like we've got with all the episodes we've got so far, within that, we've got all the ingredients and body parts you need to make, a living, breathing thing. Yeah. But they're just dismembered with the organs burst and ruptured and all over the shop. It's I
mean, they've made some strange editing choices, undoubtedly. I mean.
Yeah, but I think also the quality
we're not
of it,
privy to the how this thing wraps up, and maybe when we get to the end of it, we'll go, oh, okay, that's why it was structured in that way. There's the equal chance that we'll get to the end of it and go, no, I still would have liked to have edited it in a completely different way. And built up the tension.
It's kind of thing like they dropped the wedding cake on the way to the reception and just did a quick fuck. They'll never notice, and they'll never notice. So we have everything there.
I love your analogies.
Well, thank you.
Just in my mind, I imagine like the groom, putting upside down.
They do tend to be food related.
Yeah, I have noticed that actually.
Anyway, it's just that we've got everything we need here. It's just take it apart, put it back together again, and it'll work.
That's it for this special episode of the Formica Table podcast, raw and unedited. Next week, normal service will be resumed, and we'll be looking at episode 10 of Twin Peaks: The Return and sharing our thoughts, opinions and theories, because I'm not your foot. Until then, let's rock.